Every December, millions of people bring a tree indoors and then decorate it with glass, candy, stars, and lights. But here's the twist. The Christmas tree wasn't always Christmas. So where did this tradition really come from? And how did it spread across the world? A Christmas tree is usually an evergreen conifer, like fir, spruce, or pine, decorated for the holiday season. It can also be artificial. Today, it's everywhere, but its modern tradition developed in Central Europe, especially Germany and the historical region of Livonia, modern-day Estonia and Latvia. One of the earliest paper trails originates from Northern Europe, where winter celebrations featured decorated trees in guild halls. In Livonia, records show the Brotherhood of Blackheads putting up holiday trees in places like Tallinn and Riga as early as the 1440s and early 1500s, then dancing around the tree before taking it to the town square. And in Germany, a 1500s guild chronicle from Bremen describes a small decorated tree with treats for children. So the tree starts as a public winter tradition, community, food, celebration, long before it becomes a living room centerpiece. Now here's the key upgrade. Medieval religious plays about Adam and Eve often used a paradise tree, an evergreen decorated with apples and wafers to symbolize Eden, sin, and redemption. Over time, that prop didn't stay on stage, it moved into homes. That's why early decorations weren't just shiny, they were edible. Apples, wafers, sweets. The 16th century is where the modern Christmas tree takes shape. A famous legend says Martin Luther added candles to an evergreen after being inspired by starlight. But that part is more tradition than proof. What we do have are solid records. A Christmas tree is documented in Strasbourg Cathedral in 1539 under the reformer Martin Bucer. One of the earliest dated images of a Christmas tree appears on a home sculpture in Turckheim, Alsace, dated 1576. Fast forward, and the decorations become an industry. One big milestone, glass baubles. In 1847, glass ornaments were being made in Loscha, Germany, helping turn the tree into the glittering icon we recognize today. Add tinsel, garlands, ribbons, and eventually, electric lights replace candles as electrification spread. And that classic finishing MOV. The topper, usually a star or an angel, is right at the highest point. So how did the tree explode outside Germany? One word, royals. In 1848, an illustration of Queen Victoria, Prince Albert, and their family gathered around a decorated tree hit the public, and the trend took off. That image was basically the 1800s equivalent of a viral post. In North America, German influence shows up early in different ways. Wikipedia even notes a specific moment in 1781 in Quebec, where Hessian soldiers and their hosts celebrated with a decorated fir tree. But widespread adoption in the U.S. ramps up later, especially after the mid-1800s cultural momentum. And then come the public megatrees. In the U.S., the first national Christmas tree lighting is linked to 1923, and Rockefeller Center's famous tree tradition begins in the early 1930s. Most real Christmas trees are fir, spruce, or pine, picked for scent, needle retention, and branch strength. In Europe, Norway spruce is common, along with fir varieties like Nordmann and silver fir. In North America, you'll often see Douglas fir, balsam fir, Fraser fir, and others. And yes, some people buy living Christmas trees with roots to replant later, but moving a tree from cold outdoors to warm indoors can seriously stress it if it's not done right. Artificial trees also trace back to Germany in the 19th century. Early versions used dyed goose feathers, partly as a response to deforestation. Later, in 1930, a U.S. company created a bristle-style artificial tree, and the idea kept evolving. Aluminum trees in the late 1950s and modern PVC plastic trees after that. The environmental debate gets complicated. Real trees can be recycled into mulch and are often grown as a crop and replanted. Wikipedia also cites life cycle assessment numbers, suggesting a natural tree produces about 3.1 kilograms of greenhouse gases per year, while an artificial tree can total 48.3 kilograms over its lifetime, meaning you need to reuse an artificial tree for many years to break even. And yes, public naming gets political too. Some places label civic displays as holiday trees instead of Christmas trees, arguing inclusivity in church, state concerns, while others push back hard. Even though the Christmas tree is widely secular today, it still carries Christian symbolism for many people. A major modern moment. Pope John Paul II introduced the Christmas tree custom to the Vatican in 1982, and later popes spoke about its symbolism in Catholic life. Many Christian traditions also include blessings or church displays of trees during Advent and Christmastide. So the Christmas tree isn't just a decoration. It's medieval theater, winter guild traditions, German household customs, royal trendsetting, mass production, and modern debate, all wrapped in lights. If you want more deep dives like this, holidays, myths, symbols, and the real stories behind them, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Real tree or artificial, and why? This is Titan007. See you in the next one.